A photo by a Montana rancher and agricultural photographer, Todd Klassy, was named the winner of an international photography competition for the second year in a row. The Star Prize for Agricultural Photography, sponsored by John Deere, is a global competition. And Todd now joins us by phone for a recap of this latest accomplishment. Thank you for joining us once again, Todd, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So tell us, of course, about the competition and also your experience.
Well, it's hosted by the International Federation of Agricultural Journalists. It's an international competition of photographers from, I think it's over 60 countries around the world. And they had their annual conference in South Africa this last week, and I was the winner in one of the key categories, which was in the landscape category. It was my photo of strip crops near Geraldine, Montana. That was the winner in that category.
And tell us about the winning picture, would you? A little bit more?
Sure. Well, I mean, I was born in Wisconsin, so I'm familiar with seeing strip crops on the hills of, Michigan and the Midwest and Wisconsin and Minnesota. It's relatively uncommon here in the West because the land tends to be awfully flat, except in the mountain areas. I was driving through the foothills of the Highwood Mountains when I spotted some strip crops, and it kind of caught my attention. So I kind of positioned myself on an angle which would feature the mountains and the strip crops, and snapped a photograph, and I guess the rest is history.
Well, very interesting. We had the picture pulled up there. Interesting contrast with the mountains and the crops. Now, you, of course, spend a lot of time traveling and taking pictures to capture the essence of an American rancher. Why is it so important to you to share that story?
Well, it's in some ways the agriculture is an exciting industry to be a part of right now, and there's a lot of interesting and exciting things that are going on in that industry. It's an industry that is often neglected, I think, by photographers and people who do video, and it's something that I gravitated to, I guess, in part because of my growing up. I grew up on a dairy farm, and I find it natural to kind of photograph the rural areas. Anyone can go out and photograph the places where people visit frequently, but in my case, I enjoy the backwoods and the back roads and the gravel roads, and photographing the hard work of America's farmers and ranchers.
Now, as we mentioned earlier, this is the second time in 2 years that your photography has been recognized on an international scale. What does this mean to you?
Well, it's a little humbling. I enter these contests because it kind of helps me understand, how I'm progressing as a photographer. It's not ever really expected that I'm going to win, but I guess, when you do, you're very happy and elated about it, especially, on this kind of stage.
Now, if I remember correctly, the picture we have up right now, or just had up, the horse with the border collie in the background, was your winning image from last year.
That is correct. Yep, that was the photograph of a cowboy working in the rain, and was the one that won the overall competition last year.
All right. Well, once again, congratulations, and thanks for joining us and sharing the story. Montana agriculture photographer Todd Klassy joining us on the phone from Prey, Montana.